Welcome to Forgotten Treasures. My name is Vince Negro, and over the next 6 months, we will be bringing you a show about jewelry, collectibles, art, appraising, all things that are forgotten that become new again. You'll be able to see us every week with our co-hosts, Gary Manata from the Manata Group, Armando Terra from the Terra Group, and Sean the Watchfinder. All three of these gentlemen will be working with me and co-hosting shows in the future about all these forgotten treasures. Please stay tuned and you'll have a lot of great things to see. With us on today's program is Gary Manata from the Manata Group. Gary, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me, Vince.
I'd like to just give you a little bit of our viewing audience, a little bit of a brief in terms of what this show is all about. In the future shows, it will be co-hosted by three individuals that have tremendous experience. Gary Manata, who's with us today, which we'll get into the areas of his expertise from the Manata Group. Armando Terra, who's an expert in antiques. And Sean the Watchfinder, his nickname is Sean the Watchfinder, and you'll know why when you see him on future shows. He's an expert on all types of watches, reusable, recyclable watches. But on today's program, we have a dear friend, Gary Manata, who is from the Manata Group, as I said, who has a passion and an expertise in jewelry and collectibles. And before we get into that area, Gary, tell us a little bit about yourself in terms of how you got involved in this field with your family, and how'd you get here today?
Well, one of the things that started this whole Manata Group was Manata Jewelry, which is what we're known for. Started 40 years ago by my parents, two young kids that came from Portugal with a dream, and they ended up buying an existing store and they renamed it to Manata Jewelry, and that's how they've been serving the community for the last 40 years. We're located in Trinity Bellwoods, just down the street from our studio, and we've been at it ever since. And since they retired, that little bug has been in me because of accompanying them through their journey, and we've continued it today.
So Gary, you must have seen a lot of phases when your parents were running this jewelry shop. I'm sure a lot of people came in from the ethnic community, whether it's Italians or Portuguese or Polish or Ukrainians, and they were looking for gifts for either was a wedding, a confirmation. I guess the standard things would be like a watch. I know you guys are famous for, you guys carry a lot of famous brands from the past, the Bulivas and the Omegas. So your parents saw the general stuff. And then along the years, there's a transition. You've told me off air that you've seen a lot of the kids of those parents come back and either try to resell the jewelry. Talk a little bit about that whole transformation from your parents' generation to where we are today.
Yeah, that is correct, Vince. And you know what? I've accompanied grandparents, parents, and their young kids today that have come in, and I've watched their parents come in when I was a kid, and now I'm dealing with their kids and with their grandkids. And I had a situation today where I had a customer come in, and you know what? She looked around, she came to me and she says, "No, my grandmother says I have to come to you because we've been dealing with your parents for the longest time." And you know what? We came in, she bought a chain for a baptism, and we made a sale this morning based on that, based on the trust, based on us accompanying our ethnic community and through the years.
So obviously the show is called Forgotten Treasures, and it's apropos that we talked about one generation to another, where a lot of people are probably sitting with a lot of things in their homes, whether it was given to their grandfathers or whatever, and they probably think it's junk. And I'd like you to talk a little bit about what people may have in their homes and how they can maybe look into appraising it and seeing if there's any value to these things. Is that something that you're interested in?
Of course, there's that little bug is what got me to continue with my parents, their legacy, if I can say that, is looking at my personal things. I have chains that were given to me for my baptism, and I've recycled those chains into something that I can wear today, into something that, either a gold watch or modified into a ring, and we use the existing gold or the existing jewelry that the person has, in my case what I did for myself, and we put something to use for every day that we can look at and say, you know what, the gold here was from my baptism or was given to me by my parents when I turned 13. And that's what we've been doing. That's what we've been educating our customers, because our customers before would think that, you know what, it's in the drawer, it's not worth anything. No, bring it out. You might be surprised at what you have and what you're sitting on.
And I've noticed that a lot of people are taking old watches and refurbishing them, you know, with another new band or whatever. And that's something that's kind of, I guess, becoming trendy, is it not?
That's a service that, like we say, you know, the old is the new. And more people are bringing in their things to refurbish, to rejuvenate, and to actually clean up and say, you know what, I'm using this because this was either my grandfather's watch or my dad used to have a watch like this, and I found one like it, and that's what I want to wear. Can you please put this in working order? And we do, to the best of our ability. When it's possible, we do get it to that point.
Gary, in terms of collectibles and jewelry, are there particular areas of those segments that are more valuable than others, or is gold and
Well, it all depends. When it comes to, see, we deal, majority of our product that we sell in our store, 90% is all imported from Portugal, is 19 and a quarter. Our carat is 19 and a quarter. We tend to have modern pieces, and we also tend to have pieces that have been dated back to the 1800s with our filigree. So it's pieces that link us, almost like the port wine links us to Portugal. Certain pieces of jewelry links gold to Portugal.
So the filigree that you're talking about is an area that you are an expert, fairly an expert in terms of the filigree gold, and maybe talk a little bit about that. And,
It's filigree's interesting. Filigree is, people have tried to copy it from all over the world, have tried to copy it, and they've visited Portugal. They've witnessed people making the filigree. Not too many people do it. Only a handful of companies in Portugal, and there are from the north, from Braga, that make filigree. And it's a very delicate procedure where gold wire is pulled, and then it's all soldered into beautiful designs. Yeah, it's.
it sounds like a rare. It's a rare type of a gold that comes from a particular region in Portugal that,
right,
as you said, is kind of synonymous with the region or the country.
There are other countries that have done it in the past, in the 1800s, 1900s. Turkey is one of them. But Portugal, to this date, when you mention filigree, it goes to the Iberian Peninsula of Portugal.